Hey, hey, welcome, welcome. Nice to see everyone around the world joining me today on November 4th, 2024. We are here today talking about, of course, the night sky. I'm Andrew Fazekas, the night sky guy, your host, for joining me on this journey around the night sky for this coming week. What wonderful things there are. Love to see in the comment section where you're watching, where you're joining me from. Have you done any stargazing? Have you seen anything interesting in the sky this past few weeks? Do share it in the comments. Love to see where all my stargazing friends are around the world. And if you're new to this channel, please make sure you subscribe, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. I'd love for you to join our very safe, open community that's truly global. We're a big family across the world, and it's just wonderful to see everyone join. And it's for all levels. And really, I try to concentrate on things that are for beginners, for casual sky watchers. There's plenty of material out on the internet for those of you that are, really seasoned in terms of sky watching. But mind you, I also cover some interesting things that are for the telescopes too, not just for naked eye or binoculars. A few telescopic things or things that are also good to have a view through a telescope through higher magnification. There's a lot out there. Love to see people. Who are we have here joining us today? We've got Jack from Santa Monica, California, Lynette from England. I've got Jen from North Carolina. So nice of you to join us. Lisa from England as well. So great. And from Hatfield, Pennsylvania, we got the Creek Walker 01 joining us too. Hey, this is great. Keep it coming in. Love to see where you are watching, even if you're watching this recorded after the live stream. It's great to have there. So you can see out my window here. That's the view outside. It's very overcast here in Montreal, Canada right now. Most of the leaves are off the trees. You can see a few there. These are mostly beech trees that I have here. I live in a forested area outside of a very big city. Montreal has about 2 million population, and I'm lucky I'm living on the edge where we got pretty good dark skies. I can actually make out the Milky Way very faintly on very clear skies. Not tonight. I can see that it's very overcast. Hey, but why don't we just jump right in? I wanted to start off talking about just briefly giving an update on the sun. Check this out. There's a really amazing view of the sun. This is a live view as posted on spaceweather.com. Check this out. Okay, so this is the live view right now of the sun. And what I want you to look at is see all of those amazing sunspots. You see those freckles? It is really active on the sun. And check out that really, really dark, large spot, right, facing the camera right now. That, in fact, is one of those um, targets that we're looking at as a source point for potential geomagnetic storms. So throwing off charged magnetic clouds, CMEs, basically, coronal mass ejections. These are large charged particle clouds that if they seem to be directed towards the Earth, they're thrown off of the sun from these points. X-ray flares, also radioactive flares are also produced through these areas where there's a twisting of the magnetic field of the sun above these sunspots. That is the source points for all these aurora potentials, right? Northern light activity potentials. And the more of these sunspots that we have facing the Earth, the more chance we have something happening. Now, remember, the sun is turning on its axis once every 28 days it takes to make one rotation. So these spots will only be here for about a week that it's directed towards the Earth, and then they spin off towards another direction. We have to wait until it rotates back into view towards the Earth, facing the Earth to have another opportunity of more auroras potentially originating from this. If you look towards the left portion of the sun picture, again, this is actually a view today, Monday the 4th. This is a live view of the moon. I should say of the sun, not of the moon, of the sun, a live view of the sun as provided on spaceweather.com. That's where I'm getting this image. And you can see there's a series of sunspots on the left here that are going to be rotating towards us as well. So just because this big guy over here is going to rotate away, there's more action coming. We are right now at the peak of the 11-year cycle of activity of the sun. So we're what we call solar max. So you may have heard that in the news, solar max. It refers to this natural rhythm of cycle of ebbs and flows of the activity of the sun, solar activity, production of solar storms, flares, lots of sunspots, lots of freckles, and that's what you're seeing there. And in fact, what's really interesting, the number of sunspots, being able to count them all, is 220 right now. So it's just it really is incredible. Look how many spotless days. Here, there's a count of how many days there have been for each year of no sunspots, where there's just completely no blemishes on the on the face of the sun. In 2024, there's been no days without a sunspot. In 2023, no days without a sunspot. In 2022, there was one day out of the year. And in 2021, 64 days. And you can see how that ramps up and then it flows back to zero back in 2020, 2013, 2012. So you can see that it's that natural cycle, 11-year cycle that this peaks. So check that out. It's on spaceweather.com if you want to follow all that information. It's interesting. Oh, also wanted to, just before we move on, I did want to mention that you may remember that, we were talking about all that comet and comet A3, right? That I've been posting pictures on. You guys have been posting amazing things. I've been loving all those views that you've been sharing. In fact, I can go ahead and show you a bit of that. Let's just log in here to Facebook. And let me just share some of these fantastic things our community is producing. If we go to my Facebook page and let me just go and share that with you. There we are. There's my face. If you haven't joined yet, sign up, subscribe, and you won't miss some really cool things. But look, I'm just going to show you this. This is the last view I got 6 days ago of the comet. Very, very faint. I've gone out, seen it still, even last night, just didn't take pictures of it. But I can make it out on photographs, just barely. It's nothing like what it used to be. You can see this is in my neighborhood, what it looked like a week ago. It was just a fantastic site. I do have a couple of more photos I'll probably share with the community if I can. I'd love to do that on my page, so take a look. Here's some other views. David Simmons, this is the view by David Simmons, showing in Ohio what it looked like on October 25th. Really beautiful stuff. Here's another one by Casimiro de Rico. There you can see a little, even looks like a satellite is in the view as well. This is from Austria by Leo de Mila. Leo de Mila took this one, a 10-second exposure with some adjustments in brightness and color. You can see the comet right behind the mountain there. Just that's a gorgeous shot. I love that one too. That's really, really nice. I love it when there's foreground objects um, with it. So this is an intro. Greg is also looking right there. You can see it's very, very faint. This was taken October 25th. It says, can find it with binoculars from my backyard, but it's getting fainter. Absolutely. And here we are about a week later from where these pictures are. So you can imagine even fainter. It's because the comet is moving away from the sun. So that's why we're getting the comet becoming fainter in our skies as it's going away. And in fact, if we go straight to the Planetarium program for this week. Where is that comet? Comet A3 is right there after sunset above the moon and Venus. Tonight, as we speak, on November 4th, after sunset, look towards the very low southwest and you'll see a very thin crescent moon joined by Venus right there. And above them, far above, will be the very faint comet. Now, you won't see this with the naked eye. Binoculars, telescopes are the way to go to see the comet, or take a longer exposure photograph. So, like with your smartphones, put it on a tripod, open the exposure, the night mode, like that. That's what it's called in, I know for Apple phones, iPhones, but other phones have it as well. Android phones too, is this night mode and longer exposure. So expose the photo to take photos that are like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, up to 30 seconds long, and you should be able to capture the comet still on photographs. The next clear night, maybe perhaps tomorrow or Wednesday this week, I'll try here from my neighborhood as well to attempt it. And if it's successful, I will post that image on my Facebook and X, formerly known as Twitter account as well, the Night Sky Guy. So stay tuned for that. But that's where the comet is right now. You can see it's in the constellation Ophiuchus, and it's climbing higher. And if we were going to look at it, where it is, let me see here if I can just take it here. Hold on, let me see if I can just. Uh, Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can get a. There we go. So where it is in the sky, I mean, in the solar system, you can see where all these lines indicate the planet paths. There's Pluto, there's Neptune, Saturn. I'm going to just turn it around for the inner solar system. And you can see where the comet, there's the sun, there's Mercury, there's Earth, and you can see it's above the plane of the solar system. That's where the comet is, and it's heading back out into uh, probably back to the Oort cloud where it was hibernating for tens of thousands of years. And right now we think that, it comes around once every 80,000 years or so. So it really is a once in a lifetime thing to see this particular comet. It doesn't mean that there's not any more comets. This is just one. And in fact, this comet's probably for us in the northern hemisphere, it still doesn't compare to what Hyakutake and Hale-Bopp were back in 96 and 97. They're still ranked as my top comets, better than even these visually to the naked eye. So we still on a drought. I think this one's pretty good, Comet A3, but not the best. I've in my time, I've seen better, and I'm thinking that we will probably get to see better comets in the coming years, I'm sure. Once every 5 to 10 years, you have one that's visible to the naked eye. So maybe wait another 5 to 10 years to see the next one. But anyways, Venus and the moon, visible right there, easy peasy with the naked eye, even from city limits. As long as you've got a clear view to the southwest, this is something that you'll be able to see. And then as we move on towards the higher in the sky, we're seeing a change in the constellations. If you haven't been out for a little while, you'll be surprised that you'll see things that are not the same that they have been over the summer months. We've now in autumn and the fall season in the northern hemisphere, spring for those of you in the southern hemisphere, and there's that change, that change of guard in terms of constellations. And one of the icons of this season is Pegasus, the flying horse, and it's the Great Square of Pegasus, part of the constellation. This giant square that really represents, it's kind of like a guidepost to the autumn skies in the northern hemisphere, that is for sure. And it represents the chest of Pegasus, the mythical flying horse. And it's a huge, basically giant diamond or square, depending on its orientation in your sky. But these four stars forming this really giant square pattern are easy to see even under light polluted conditions. You're going to have a tough time if you're downtown of a large city. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you, but if you're in the suburbs, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes outside of the downtown core of a large city, these stars will be visible. And it's a great place because it's a viewing area window out of the Milky Way. There's not that many bright stars in this region, and there's a lot of views outside of the Milky Way, which means you get to see other galaxies. And one of the more famous ones, of course, is the Andromeda Galaxy that's just off of this giant square. So if you kind of take this corner, the left corner here, and you kind of the square, let me just zoom out, you'll be able to find the Andromeda Galaxy, that's this one over here, um, fairly easily. You can just see, just with binoculars, kind of sweep off to the left. And another great guidepost is the Andromeda constellation, the princess here, the chain princess right there. And you can see it's like two kind of jagged, crooked lines of stars that stretch out towards the east. And then what you're going to be looking at is from the corner star here of Pegasus, you go out and you'll see two visible stars, faint naked eye stars, and then a little bit to the more east of that pair, it'll be a little bit wider pair of faint naked eye stars, again visible from a suburb, typical suburb. And what's interesting is if you kind of take binoculars and you move, kind of sweep above that second set of faint stars, you'll see a faint glow. Definitely in binoculars, easy to see, very easy to see Andromeda. Even with smartphone photos, you can pick Andromeda Galaxy up. I'm going to post some images on that from my smartphone showing you exactly what it looks like. So stay tuned for that after this broadcast. I'll make sure I'll post that because I think that's really interesting. You'll be surprised. And what's cool about the Andromeda Galaxy, remember, it's another spiral galaxy. It's 3 times bigger than the Milky Way that we live in. This is what it looks like in a long exposure photograph. Isn't that gorgeous? That you can see it's kind of slanted on a diagonal, and you can see the spiral arms of the Andromeda Galaxy, located 2.6 million light years away. So we're looking back in time more than 2.5 million years when we're looking at the Andromeda, that like faint fuzzy that you can see through binoculars. Or maybe you live in the countryside and you can see the faint fuzzy dot that this is the core of this galaxy, even with the naked eye. It's one of the farthest objects the unaided human eye can see is this galaxy, the Andromeda Galaxy, which has over 1 trillion stars that are in the formation of a spiral galaxy. It's just beautiful. And I see friends joining: Jojo from Socorro, New Mexico, Francine from Southern California. Hello. Gopa is from New Jersey. Nice to see you. Maggie's here as well from Guam. Wonderful. Kimberly from St. Louis, Missouri is here. Jack is here from Southern California. Absolutely, man. Diego, Fresno. Hey, Fresno's represented here. My old haunt. I used to live in Fresno, California. Really nice. I used to work at the Chaffee Zoological Garden back in the day. Nicola is here. So more auroras in not so north. Yeah, there might be more auroras, Nicola. There might be uh, soon because of that series of very big sunspots facing Earth. So it's worth keeping an eye out. Do log on to spaceweather.com because that's a place to go and see it. So, also we've got Katarzyna from Ireland. Wow, great. And Jenny from Texas. Oh, so nice to see all of you guys here, and keep them coming. I love seeing where you're watching from. So that's Andromeda. That is, I would say, something you have to get. Should be on your bucket list to see Andromeda. Now, it's not going to look spectacular like this unless you start taking photos through a telescope. Then it'll look like this. It'll just look like a faint, fuzzy little cotton ball to your view, even through binoculars. But it's the knowledge, this understanding of what you're seeing, looking back in time, 2.5 million years, seeing a giant island of 1 trillion stars glowing there, and just thinking how many planets could be revolving around those stars, how many life forms could there be? Could there be any civilizations? Could there be any technically advanced civilization looking back through their telescopes at us? Just, blows your mind just thinking of the potential. And it's just amazing. That's right there, visible in our skies. This is something that is rising in the east soon after darkness falls. So it's something that you want to keep your eyes open to, definitely. Now, um, before we finish the show, I wanted to just show how the moon is moving through the sky this week, and it's again a wonderful guidepost in learning about the sky. So if we move to say Tuesday, you can see the moon has moved away from Venus on Tuesday. Let me just get a little bit closer, and by Wednesday, it's well inside the constellation Sagittarius, and it's getting a thicker and thicker crescent. So we call this a waxing crescent moon. Waxing meaning that it's growing in size in terms of that crescent shape part. The illuminated part of the disk of the moon is growing over the course of the next few days. So that's why we call it a waxing moon. And it's going to be by Wednesday in Sagittarius, leaving Sagittarius by Thursday. What's very interesting is, let me see if I can get back here. Oh my gosh, let me just go back here. Hold on. I think I just went it super fast. Let me see here. 5 by 6. So here we go. Let's just zoom out. And this is Monday. Now we'll go back to Tuesday. There's the moon right there. There it is on Wednesday. And then Thursday is the moon. Now it gets into a near Capricornus constellation. You can see the sea goat up on the upper left. This is a very sparse area. Again, lots of deep sky targets as well visible through binoculars and telescopes. It'll be going by Thursday. It'll be kind of pairing up with a wonderful globular cluster called M75 on Thursday night. This is what it looks like. You can see M75, just a gorgeous collection, a city of stars formed in a circular formation in a global formation. And this is about 8.5 magnitude. So it's visible through binoculars. Great target for small telescopes. And it sits about 60,000 light years away. It's a beautiful globular cluster. M75, it's part of the Messier list. This is kind of like the first bucket list if you're starting your journey through our galaxy and universe and learning about deep sky targets. And so this is Messier 75, and the moon, the thin crescent moon, will be joining M75. What will be interesting is, let me see, if I can just, let's see if I can see, it will be about almost 4 degrees from the moon. So if we use, that's about your 3 fingers at arm's length, and you find where the moon is, and you kind of put your 3 fingers just above the disk of the moon, so the moon is underneath, and you just go like at arm's length, and that is where you should be searching with binoculars and your telescope for M75. I'll put a sky chart of this as well. So again, this is Thursday the 7th, a wonderful pairing of the moon and a deep sky target, a globular cluster over 60,000 light years away. Thursday, something really worth looking. And then the moon's journey continues. You can see by Friday, the moon is well embedded in Capricornus, the sea goat. And by Saturday, it's already off of the sea goat and it's heading into Aquarius, the water bear. And look where it's heading. By Sunday, the moon is going to pair wonderfully. What a great way to finish the week. The moon and Saturn will be together in the sky. Now, Saturn, of course, is famous for its rings. To see those wonderful rings of Saturn, you need a good telescope, a small telescope. You don't need something big, but a small telescope, and it will show you the rings. Binoculars are just not strong enough to do the job, but the two together will definitely be in pair of binoculars. That's the view. And if you have a telescope, then you can zoom in. You'll know if you've never seen Saturn, the moon is going to be a great guidepost Sunday night. And this is what you will see with Saturn through a small telescope, something like that, under high magnification. And you'll see these little dots beside Saturn. Those are some of the larger moons of Saturn, ice moons, and like this one is just Titan is fantastic. They think it's a great analog to a primitive Earth, the way Earth was in its environment before life existed billions of years ago. That's the environment that Titan, the moon, exists. Enveloped in very thick methane rich clouds and pools and oceans of methane as well, liquid methane. It's a really fascinating moon. You should read up on that if you have a chance, Titan, and you can actually see it with your backyard telescope next to Saturn. This Sunday, this is the view that you'll have through a small telescope. Isn't that cool? If you have binoculars, then this is the view that you'll have. And of course, with the naked eye, looking towards the southern part of the sky after sunset. This is set around 6:30. The sun goes down really, really early, so it'll get dark about an hour to 2 hours after, and you can easily see the moon and Saturn rising on Sunday, the 10th of November. Isn't that like so cool? So there you go, guys. Some really, really cool stuff coming up this week in the sky. I'm going to be posting these sky charts onto my Facebook channel, so stay tuned to that. I love to see where you're watching from, what you're seeing. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you're interested in, its holidays are coming up. If you're interested in, you know where I'm going with this. If you're interested in giving some unique gift, I've got a new batch, a brand new delivery from National Geographic of my book, Backyard Guide to Night Sky. It's one of the best-selling books for the last few years on Amazon and at many bookstores. It's a National Geographic book, so you know that it's going to be of great quality. And I've jam-packed it with all my tips from many, many years. And guess what? I'm selling these signed and dedicated personally to you. You can tell me who you'd like to give this gift to, and I'll personally inscribe in this in the book, in the front of the book, and send it off to you. No matter where you are around the world, I'm shipped internationally. So this is Backyard Guide to the Night Sky. And I also have a larger book because this Backyard Guide is a smaller soft cover, but I also have the Atlas, Stargazer's Atlas. This is huge. It's a huge, big coffee table book. It weighs 6.5 pounds. But I also am giving this as a dedicated signed copies. I have copies of this for international shipping. So you can order it directly from me. Tell me exactly who you'd like to have your name inscribed if you wish. And it just makes a great holiday gift. It's been really a lot of success over the last few years for holiday season. So if you're interested in that, feel free. Don't forget to sign up for my newsletter as well. All of that information is on my website, thenightskyguy.com. So do visit my website, and of course, I'd love to see all your comments on my Facebook channel. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you have a great week. Some clear skies for you, of course. And again, if you have any questions, just pop them into the comment section and I'll look through them. And hey, stay safe and healthy. And until the next video, clear skies, man. Bye-bye.